Stand by for ludicrous speed.
Okay, my dear Greg Saunders.
Gregory.
Eagle looking right, here go.
Gregory.
Greg Saunders.
Greg Saunders.
Greg Saunders!
Wow! Hey, great!
I got it.
We interrupt this sound file to bring you a terrifying announcement.
Are you aware that you're leaking coolant at an alarming rate?
Show us the skills that have made you a media darling.
Well, I'm glad we got all that out in the open.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Saturday Morning Stateline Show.
Really, when you look at it, 50% of homeowning is hearing strange noises and hoping they're made by ghosts, because I just can't afford to fix them right now. I'm Greg. He's Tom. It's your Saturday Morning Stateline Show. Good morning, buddy.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm very, very well. Goodbye, August. It's the third day of September of the year 2022, the latest it has ever been
In the history of mankind.
Yes, sirree.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Cruise, Grew for Minions, not on the show today, but Tom's here. Joann's going to stop by. We're going to welcome in Labor Day weekend with the Saturday Morning Stateline Show. Woohoo.
That's right.
I've been talking to a lot of people recently about our little podcast, and they're like, really? How long you been doing that? And I was like, well, this weekend's show number 125. So if that gives you any indication how long we've been doing this.
Well, since April of 2020.
It's been...
Seems like we should have more shows, you know?
I was...
Just about 3 or 4.
I got a chance to do some fun stuff with our friends from WROK and Town Square Media on Thursday night. We had a Team Sold on Tony event out at Prairie Fire Golf in Byron.
Okay.
And
Prairie
Riley...
Fire?
Yeah, the Prairie View is the golf course. Prairie Fire is the driving range with the top golf style scoring system out there.
Okay, there you go.
Fun, yeah, we had a blast. And Riley and Joe were there. JB Love was there. Spencer was there. One of the sales guys, Brian, was there. Our gal Heather, who's the sales from WTVO, was there. And a lot of other vendors and lenders and attorneys and people that we do real estate business with a lot. Had a really good time. But yeah, it was got a chance to hang out with Riley and Joe and catch up with them just a little bit. There was a lot of people there, so I didn't get a chance to talk with them a whole lot, but we had a fun time hitting golf balls and eating food and just enjoying a beautiful night out in Byron. So if you get a chance, check out Prairie Fire.
I have never golfed Prairie View, but we were there for an Eagle Open about 6 or 7 years, about 8 years ago, 9 years ago, something like that. And it was a good time. It was definitely a good time.
It's one of the nicest courses around. It really is.
Yeah, it is.
We do have a big number of the week this week. It's not very impressive though, so just don't hold it against me. Big number of the week this week is 4,165. That's right. 4,165. And this week's answer is Britain or bikes. Britain or bikes is our big number of the week in our current race to 10. It's a 2-1 lead for Tom over Joann.
That's because I cheat.
And that's because Tom cheats every week. After
Apparently.
being completely blown out by Joann last
Yeah.
race. That's
And losing the overall 3-1. So yeah, whatever.
share
Anyway.
your comments and your guesses on the stream and let us know if you think you know the answer. Is it Britain or bikes for our big number of
Now-
the week this week? We'll give you the answer. Come
Now,
on.
if you've looked it up, don't say, "Oh, I checked and it's such and such." Don't do that because
You can do, you know what? Honestly, Google, somebody try this. Google 4,165 Britain and then do 4,165 bikes and see if you could actually try to game this system that I got. Because it'd be hard. It'd be really, really hard.
Yeah.
Because where I get my big number of the week each week comes from different places every week. And there's a randomness to it that.
Oh yeah. Sometimes it's a total stretch. It's a radio reference there.
Yeah. Sometimes it's a total stretch. And so, yeah, it'd be really, really hard to game this system because, yeah, there's a lot of.
For example, in Britain, the average British family will lose 4,165 teeth in a 50-year span. I mean, how could anybody know that?
And now you know that why you don't.
There you go. I heard it was, the Brits have been long known for having like bad chompers. It's because they don't get vitamin C or because, there's a lot of different things. I don't know. I'm sure it's not because they don't brush their teeth. That's not it. It's not a hygiene thing. It's soft, I don't know, no calcium, no enamel. Yeah, something to do with the diet, something to do with something in the water. Anyway.
Let's see. We are off and running. No, as I mentioned, Tom Cruise and Gru from Minions are not on the show this week, but there is $3 movies at the movie theaters today. Not this weekend, but today. Today is National Cinema Day.
Yep.
And movie theaters across the U.S. selling tickets for $3. It was an initiative launched by the nonprofit Cinema Foundation in an effort to get more people back into theaters during Labor Day weekend. This is typically the weakest ticket sales for cinemas all year long. And if you think about it, makes a lot of sense. It's kind of the last weekend of summer. Who wants to spend time in a theater when they can do that later on when it's cold out? And this might be the last, it's not going to be the last good weather weekend of the year, but it's the last weekend of summer for a lot of people.
Okay, but what I don't get is when it is cold, that's when you go to the theater. You're not going to go swimming. You're not going to go bike riding. You're not going to go walking down the bike path. So it's just weird. It's all about the marketing. But you know what? I'm good. I'm in. We already got our tickets for Minions.
Good deal. Good deal. Well, I hope you and the family
We're taking the boys. So
taking the grand boys.
Taking the grand boys.
Going to be a good day for that. Got a bunch of shout outs for you today. And Joann's already logged in. I'll jump to you in a little bit, Joann. I know you're standing by there, so we'll bring you in a little bit. As far as
we got stuff to talk about.
Yeah. Want to give a shout out. I got a bunch of business stuff to share today. Excuse me. As I already mentioned, we did a golf games night out at Prairie Fire, which again, it's not Top Golf, but it's more like it's like your driving range and Top Golf, merged, and it's similar to Top Golf. Prairie Fire has 8 bays and different kind of games you can play, a scoring system. Each ball has a transmitter in it, so it's scores how far you drove it and how fast the ball left the club and all that stuff. It's really cool.
And not to interrupt, but this is something you can do all year round, right? It's indoor.
They are open all year round. The bays are obviously they're outside. You're hitting into a driving range, but there's heaters, so on cold summer winter days you can be out there swinging a golf club and enjoying bar food and beverages. That's that was our fun for Thursday.
Oh, that sounds so cool.
So I don't know what order to take this in because I got a bunch of different things. Let's start with have you met Kevin Haas? He's a local writer
Yeah. I know who he is, and I don't know if I've met him.
You've seen his name on articles before because I think he wrote
Yeah.
for the Register Star. He might still at times.
Yeah.
His main gig right now is writing the Rock River Current and editing that for Midwest Family Broadcasting. So
Right. Okay.
the same entity that owns B103 and the Bull, they also run the Rock River Current.
Okay.
Check that out daily or weekly because they always have interesting stuff. And this week, the interesting thing was me. I was on the Rock River Current.
Oh, cool.
Kevin interviewed me and a client while showing a house in Rockford to talk about the housing market.
Oh, nice.
And
so you're a current event.
I'm a current event. It was really cool. The picture they took made me look really, what's the word?
Distinguished.
Really distinguished. It was really. You know what? I wasn't gonna bring this up, but now that I'm bragging on this picture, it's actually not that great of a picture. It's just the angle of it makes it look like it's pretty special. So if I can find the article here real quick. Rockford area home sale prices have some buyers struggling to find an affordable place. That is the headline of the article. And here we go. Hold on to your hats. Here comes. How about that for a distinguishing looking guy, huh?
Oh, look at you.
There's me with my buddy Kent, who's who I'm showing the house to, and I've known for quite a while. Him and his wife have been looking for a house for a few months. And Kevin asked him some questions and he had some great answers. So the article is just talking about the challenge that buyers are having in this current housing market. And what I really like about what Kevin did is he didn't just write down notes from our little interview. He recorded the questions he asked me and Kent.
Oh, okay.
So he actually verbatim put my answers and Kent's answers in the article.
Oh, that's so cool.
And somebody might be thinking, what's the big deal about that? If you've ever been interviewed for anything before on the news, you know what happens when they don't use your actual quote. And you're like, that's not what I said, or maybe that's not what I meant. They should have gotten the understanding. It's very frustrating.
Yeah, I believe all women should be barefoot and pregnant and in the kitchen. Wait a minute. No, that's not what I said. I said they should be barefoot and pregnant and in the living room putting my slippers on. No, I'm kidding. I am totally kidding. Come on now. No, but I know exactly what you mean. And what did I talk about? What were we talking about in the very beginning? The show prep, if you will. Show prep. I said attention to detail. Listen. Listen. You have 2 ears and 1 mouth. Do twice as much listening as you do talking. Listen. Learn to listen. And that's how you avoid making crucial mistakes like what we were talking about.
I'll paste. I think I can paste a link to the article in our comment stream, so you can see that there if you want to look that up. So thanks to Kevin Haas and the Rock River Current for a nice interview. Just talking facts. Connor Brown is the CEO of Northwest Illinois Realtors. He used to be the Rockford area Realtors, and now we're the Northwest Illinois Alliance of Realtors. Anyway. The 3 month rolling average price of a home sold in July was $193,000, up 3% from the month before. What he didn't put in the article, which we didn't get to that part, but like just 3 or 4 years ago, I think it was 2018, the average was 147.
Wow.
I mean, it's nearly a $50,000 jump in average prices in Rockford, which is just crazy. So yes, prices are high, but as I explained to Kevin in this article and stuff, prices are high, but values and prices will fall. You're going to start hearing that in the media. Prices are falling. But the value of homes is not falling. So what does that mean? It means it's still a good time to buy, because if you buy now, yes, the price might be high, but you're going to have equity in this home in a couple of years as values continue to rise.
What happens if we have a repeat of 2008 where everybody lost their shorts?
And that's where the question becomes, how long are you going to stay here?
Right.
If you're going to be in Rockford, because my wife and I, we personally went through this right after we bought the house is when the market crashed.
Mhm.
And had we panicked and sold, we would have lost a lot of money, or we would have declared bankruptcy and, took a year to get out from underneath that. What we did do though, is we adjusted our budget. We didn't spend any extra pennies anywhere, but made sure we could keep our house. And then now here we are today with a bunch of equity in this house because we survived the downturn. And that was a terrible downturn.
Oh, it was. And the funny thing is, the housing industry is a lot like the stock market. Just be patient. It'll bounce back. Yeah. If you buy stocks and all of a sudden they start to fall and fall and fall and fall, oh my God, let's get rid of them. Well, they're going to go back up again. And then you're going to make your money back. Oh, I lost 20,000 in the stock market. Well, then wait a couple.
Then why'd you sell?
Yeah. You lost it because you sold. Had you stayed with it, that money's not coming back if you sell it, but that money can come back if you hold on to it.
Just hold on. In August, the average U.S. home sold below asking price for the first time since March of 2021. This is according to Redfin. So basically what that means is since March of 2021, the average sales price was at or above asking price for more properties than not. So it was basically 100 and 101%, where a couple of years ago it was more like 96 or 97% of asking price was the average. So the market is softening. Mortgage rates are playing a part of that because they are going up. So some buyers having to adjust their price ranges or just are deciding not to look, which again, in my opinion, is a mistake. If you're planning on staying put for a few years or more, it's better to buy than to rent. But if you don't know if you're going to be here for the next 3 years, maybe it's better to rent than to buy.
Well, yeah. Renting means you're paying someone else's mortgage. You might as well be paying your own. But like you said, if you're not going to stay, then what the heck?
Exactly. So sold on Tony Keller Williams Realty Signature. Another fun week of real estate this week. Not just fun because we went to Prairie Fire, but got a deal together for one of my clients, working with a for sale by owner house, which I just closed on one about a month or so ago. Have another one now under contract, which is something that we can do for you. If you find a for sale by owner and you want to help, you want help negotiating and getting things done properly, so you're getting a good deal, it's still better to work with an agent and either pay that agent their commission or negotiate the seller to pay your agent's commission, which is what we did in this case for this house up in Roscoe. So very excited for this buyer to buy her second house with me up in Roscoe. She's going to sell the house she bought in Rockford a few years ago after she buys this one, which is cool.
Yeah.
What was the other thing I wanted to talk about? Prairie Fire, Kevin Haas, the for sale by owner. I think that was most of what was going on as far as real estate stuff goes this week, but another fun week in the land of real estate. We had a meeting here in New Milford on, I believe it was Tuesday night. Yeah, Tuesday night. Trajectory Energy Partners is proposing a 28-acre community solar farm here in New Milford, which I'm very happy and excited about. When the neighborhood where I live was supposed to be 200 plus homes, and when the economy tanked in 2008, we were up to 30 maybe homes, 20 something at the time. We're up to maybe 30 now, but they're just not building any more homes in this development. And we have all these acres off to the south of us that are not going to be homes anytime soon because there's a landfill is pretty close to there. Mm-hmm. So what do you do with that land? And there's a lot of different things that the owner could decide to do. Probably the least annoying of them is putting in a solar field. So there was a presentation by folks from Trajectory Energy, at the New Milford. It was supposed to be in City Hall. And they moved it over to the fire station just to accommodate more people. Not as many people showed up as I thought would, but just to kind of recap the meeting, the folks there were talking about the fact that this is a community solar project. It's not one of those big, huge industrial ones like they're doing down in Lee County right now. I think that one covers, what did he say, 100 plus or 200 plus acres. I mean, huge industrial sized solar. We're all familiar with residential solar because you probably have someone in your neighborhood with solar
I've been seeing a
panels on their
lot
roof.
of it lately.
Yeah. And people took advantage of the state grants and stuff in the last couple of years to put solar on their roofs, which is fine. Some people love those for the efficiency and what it adds to the value of the home. Other people really hate them because they think it's ugly, which I don't know. Having black panels on your roof doesn't really scream ugly to me, but other people think that is. So it's a personal preference thing. I get it. So this solar farm that they're proposing would be a community solar farm. So it's 28 acres. It would kick energy into the ComEd system, and we would get if you subscribe to the solar community, you would get a discount from ComEd because you would be drawing some of your power from the solar field. Anywhere from the average is anywhere from $20 to $50 a month in savings by grabbing your energy from the solar field rather than from ComEd. So they still have to get the final permits to build this thing. They're proposing it. They want to do it. I think they're going to get enough support to do it, but there is obviously some people, again, like I said, that they think these are ugly, even if they're just in a.
All right. Yeah, they're a
field.
little ugly, but what's uglier, corn or solar panels? Take your pick. It doesn't matter. Okay,
well, the guy that did the presentation, I think his best point was, hey, the owner of this property, they could put in a truck stop.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you want the traffic noise and the dirtiness,
or we could expand the landfill. Sign me up. Solar panels it is.
Yeah.
But here's the thing about solar panels. This is what I like about it. You have two different sides. Renewable energy, fossil fuels, they're constantly fighting. We need green energy. Well, solar panels is something we can all agree on because it's from the sun. It doesn't get much more natural than that, right? We're not using fossil fuels for solar energy.
And one of my big questions to the guy was, okay, so is there going to be a storage facility on this property? Because if there was going to be any concerns, it would be, okay, you've got a building full of, 1,000 batteries or whatever the storage system might be. And he said, no, this just feeds right into the ComEd system. So they're storing the energy. They're spreading the energy. It's not being stored there. The only thing they're putting on this property is a small cement pad for a storage building for things like lawn care type things. And they're actually going to grow pollinating friendly ground cover because they want to encourage things like, healthy bees to help pollinate, local crops and stuff like that. So I'm excited about it. Yeah. I think it's going to be a good deal. I
think it's kind of cool when you drive by and you see all these solar panels. It looks kind of cool. It's weird.
There's a big solar farm area just to the east of the airport, and you can see it from 251 if you're driving down 11th Street and 251 there. You can see that one there. And then there's another one. I forget the name. Is it not Samuelson? Where Black Hawk continues toward the airport. There's a company over there that has these like 5 or 6 solar panels, huge ones on they look like satellite dishes, and they follow the sun all day.
Is it Airport Drive or Falcon Road?
No, it's where Black Hawk Road continues toward the airport, which I think is still called Black Hawk until it gets to the airport and dead ends.
Yeah. Okay.
There's a company there with like 5 or 6 or 7 big solar panels. I don't know how much energy they get from them because it's not like there's a whole lot of them. They're kind of big, but they when you drive by, you can know where the sun is because it's following the sun all day.
Well, I know a lot of people. I personally know people who have solar panels on their roof. And they say that energy bill is cheaper. So why not?
Yeah.
Why not? And it's safe. It's from the sun, for crying out loud. Might as well use the sun's energy.
Yeah. There's no waste. There's not. There's
and there's no danger.
There's no chemical.
There's no meltdown or anything like that.
Right.
I mean, you're
right.
you're a lot closer. Doesn't matter anyway. You're about 5 miles closer to the nuke plant than I am, but it doesn't matter. We're still both going to grow
Not
a
really.
third eye if we have a meltdown, and that's if we're lucky. We only get out of it with a third eye.
Right. Right.
My
I guess
victims.
the last. I think the last shout out I had for this week was kudos to the people, the park district or the park folks who run things out at Rock Cut State Park. We rented a shelter last weekend for a family reunion, and they had it just spiffy clean and all ready for us. It was wonderful. We were at the Red Oak picnic area, which if you've ever been out to Rock Cut State Park in the lake out there, there's a couple different picnic areas, a lot of different picnic areas. And one of them is called Red Oak. That's probably the biggest of the picnic areas. And at Red Oak, there is a shelter that you can rent. I think it cost me like $50 or something to rent it for the day. So it's not terribly expensive. And we had, 40, 50 people out for a family reunion, and the weather was beautiful last Saturday. So kudos to those folks who make that all happen out at Rock Cut State Park.
That's cool. I had a DJ gig last Saturday at Mactown. It was for a friend of mine's sweet 16 birthday party. So we had a good time playing some music in the band shell or the shelter or whatever, and we had a really good time with it. So
cool.
Ah.
All right. I'm tracking all over the place here. I think there was one more thing I wanted to try to touch on. The Lou Awards.
There is.
The Lou Awards. Have I ever talked to you about the Lou Awards before?
No.
So the Lou Awards, L-O-U, Lou Awards. Let's see if it tells me who it's named after. Lou
Probably
Awards.
a British toilet.
No, L-O-U, not L-O-O.
Oh, okay.
The Lou Awards celebrate community theater and college theater in the north and northwest suburbs of Illinois this year. So I want to congratulate so many folks from Starlight Theater who have been nominated this season for the 2021-2022 season of the Lou Awards. The awards will be announced on Sunday, October 9th, 7 p.m. on their Facebook live stream. And Starlight Theater has been nominated for all kinds of things. I wanted to mention a bunch of the other clubs or other theaters that were also in this. And let me share this screen really quick so you can see. The print's going to be too hard to see, I'm sure. I'm sorry about that. But I wanted you to see Lou Award nominations for the 2021-2022 season. Best Production Play. Brightside Theater did Don't Dress for Dinner. Theater 121 did Noises Off. Wheaton Drama, which I'm guessing is at Wheaton, possibly at Wheaton College maybe, they did Silent Sky, and Elgin Theater Company did The Tin Woman. That might be the only category where Starlight Theater wasn't mentioned. Like every other category, Starlight Theater has someone nominated for something. For example, Best Production Musical, A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder at Rock Valley College Starlight Theater. The Little Mermaid at Rock Valley College Starlight Theater. Into the Woods at Big Noise Theater, and Dogfight at Point Two Productions. I'm not going to go through this whole list, but I wanted to mention some of these other companies who are also nominated, and give a shout out to Chris Brady and the awesome directorial team and the creative team at Starlight Theater for putting on such an awesome season. Shout out to my buddy Kevin Jensen, who is nominated as Best Performer in a Leading Male Role for a Musical. He played Horace Vandergelder in Hello Dolly, which I was in this last summer.
Rudy.
I was Rudy. He was Horace. Yes. Evandia Penix. She not only was in Dreamgirls as Effie White, she was also in Once Upon a Mattress last year and was nominated as Princess Winifred in that. She got 2 nominations for Best Performer in a Leading Female Role in a Musical in this last season. She's absolutely amazing. She was also, I believe, nominated for Supporting Female Role for her role as Ursula in Little Mermaid, I'm pretty sure. So many great people I could be mentioning here. Marcus Tobias, also nominated twice for a supporting male role. He was in Little Mermaid as Sebastian. And he was in Once Upon a Mattress as the minstrel. Laura Perzinski was in Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder. That awesome guy that played Jimmy in Dreamgirls, Malachi Goldsmith, played Jimmy early in Dreamgirls. He's nominated. Check out Lou Award nominations. Again, the winners will be announced coming up in October. And what a fun season we had. And it's fun to be acknowledged for the creativity and all the hard work that goes into putting on these shows.
It's kind of funny. You do 6 weeks, 8 weeks of prep, and every single night, or maybe 3 or 4 nights a week, and working it hours on end, and then you do 12 shows and we're done. Oh wow, okay.
Yeah,
it seems like you put 80 hours into it and get 6 hours out of it, but oh well. Or 12
something like that.
I know, but that's the way it is. You have to do that,
Thanks for chiming in on the solar talk there, Linda. We do these usually for Starlight. You're auditioning like late February, and then you get your roles in March, and you start in March, doing rehearsals all through April and May, and then you finally get to start performing in June, and all of a sudden you've done your dozen or so shows, and it's done. And it's something special though. It's really fun community. It's a great way to get to know some people, stretch yourself, learn some new stuff. So if you've never done community theater before, for goodness sakes, go ahead, go out and audition when the shows are announced here. So the shows for the next Starlight season, I should be announced here in November, right around I think Thanksgiving time, maybe we're leading up to Christmas. And then they'll have auditions in February. And of course, we'll tell you about it here on the podcast. All right. It's 8:30. Wow. We chatted a lot. We should bring in Joann here before we get too far, shouldn't we? Good morning, Joann. How are you doing?
Hi, Joann. You're just in time to talk Packer football.
Yeah. My favorite subject.
I know.
Well, there's not a whole lot to say yet because the game isn't until a week from tomorrow, but we are maybe just a little bit excited about football. I got to give a shout out to Harlem High School. That's the last thing I wanted to give a shout out for this morning, as far as just personal shout outs go. Harlem High School. It even
makes sense. A Packer Bear.
A Packer Bear. I know, right? It's funny.
A Packer Bear. That's right.
It's ironic, like a song.
Sorry,
anyway,
I didn't mean to interrupt you, Greg.
Harlem High School. They did their teacher appreciation night last night at the football game, and teachers and their families, they invite them out for like a huge tailgate party before the football game with bouncy houses and yard games and food. And it's just a fun time to mix and mingle. Had a great conversation with one of their teachers who moved here from China. Gosh, I don't know how long she's been here. I think she's been here about 15 years, but it took her like 10 years to get her visa to be able to leave China to come here. And her story of getting her passport was something else, because she had to persist. She got turned down 5 times. And the morning she finally got accepted, September 11th, 2001. We all know what happened that day. And she almost left the U.S. Embassy because of what was going on in the news. She was like, well, they're not going to do anything. And someone encouraged her, hey, you're on the list to be seen today. Stay here and go. And that's when she got accepted. So anyway, Harlem High School. Yep.
Oh.
So we were at the party, the tailgate thing before the game last night. Went to the Harlem Hononegah game, which looked like it was not going to be good at all because Hononegah was dominating in the first quarter and in the first half. They scored 2 defensive touchdowns. They didn't score an offensive touchdown at all in the first half, but they caused a fumble and ran one back. They kicked a field goal, and then they sacked the Harlem quarterback in the end zone, which we were sitting in that end zone, and it was right there in front of me. They sacked the quarterback. He fumbled, and they picked it up, and it was a touchdown for Hononegah. So it was all of a sudden it's 17-0, just like that. But Harlem came back. They've got some great talent. They made it a game. It was turned into a shootout in the second half. I think the final score was 34-24 or 38-28, something like that. Harlem ended up losing by 10, but they gave them a good game. They are probably going to be the 2 top teams in the conference this year again, but we shall see. We shall. If you want to recap, check out Scott Leber's new show, the overtime show that they do. They're doing, instead of trying to cram all of the highlights for high school football into, 7 or 10 minutes at the end of the nightly news, they're doing a full half hour at 11 o'clock on Fox 39.
Nice.
I think it's on Fox.
Nice.
So Overtime is the show. Scott Leber and the new gal who's his weekend anchor. I forgot her name because she's brand new. But anyway, they did a really nice show.
Isn't it Regan?
Regan something.
Yeah. I see the advertisement all the time.
Sorry about that. But yeah, check out Overtime for all the good recaps of the high school football from the night. And of course, there's high school football again today. They're having to split up a lot of these Friday night games now because there's not enough officials. The officiating crews are dwindling down, and people go figure, Tom. Guys and gals don't want to officiate football games because they get verbally abused.
Yeah, I know. Regan Holgate. That's who it is.
Thank you. So instead of their solution right now is to have some of these games on Saturdays. So they're splitting up these high school games between actually Thursday, Friday, and Saturdays, because some of the smaller schools even will be having Thursday night games.
If you're a parent out there and you are calling out a ref for making a mistake or whatever, shame on you. We're going to send somebody to your job, and the next time you make a mistake and you write the wrong thing down, we're going to have somebody going, "You suck at what you do. You should quit. Get out of here."
Right.
How would you like that? I'm sorry. They're doing a job, and it's a tough job to do. I've reffed before. It's a tough job. You got 14 things you have to look for. And to have somebody over your shoulder going, "Come on, how could you miss that?" Well, I missed it. I'm sorry. It is not that big of a deal. No one's going to die. No one's going to lose their home. No one's going to, whatever. And it ain't.
My story is I ref for AYSO soccer, and I red carded my own team for yelling at the ref or yelling at the kids, and they were shocked.
One of the teachers in the stands with us last night was talking about the story that they keep telling at their Thanksgiving is when their dad was reffing and gave a yellow card to his own son because he was reffing a game his son happened to be in, and he yellow carded his own son on the field. It's like, how could you? Well, that's what he did. He's reffing the game. That's what you're supposed to do.
That's
right. These referees, though, these umpires, most of them pay to take a class and to get a license or whatever to the state. Yeah. They're not paid a lot of money to ref these games. No. Okay.
They're like not $40 or $50.
It's not a huge thing that they're making. They're not making tons of money doing this. It's one thing to groan over a bad call. Obviously, if a call is bad and most people see that it was bad, that's, but to rate a referee, no, that's not the solution.
It's okay to yell, "Hey, ref, Foot Locker called. They want their jersey back." Hey, that's a standard. No, but I mean, they have feelings too. They have families too, and so just go easy on them. Right. Stop being such a whatever.
It's not going to change.
So we had a good time at Harlem Hononegah football last night. Oh, and WROK was out there calling the game, so Joe Dredge was up in the booth alongside his dad, who's the PA announcer. Bill has been the longtime PA announcer for Harlem High School.
Yeah.
I told my wife last night, you know what's funny? Bill Dredge sounds like Kevin Jensen, our friend Kevin Jensen, who played Horace Vandergelder in Hello Dolly. They have very similar voices. And I was like, if you told me that was Kevin up there announcing the game, I'd believe you because it sounds a whole lot like
You ever hear a guy named John Williams on WGN radio?
Yeah.
He sounds just like Alan Alda. I mean,
he sounds like Alan Alda.
Oh my God, it is almost spot on. I thought it was Alan Alda. This is years ago, 20 years ago, 25, whatever. I actually sent him an email. I said, love your show, blah, 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 this and that. And you sound like Alan Alda. You got a chuckle out of that.
I don't think any of us sound like anybody famous. I don't.
Yeah.
Long time ago when I first got into radio in the early 90s, someone tried to equate me with Casey Kasem. I said, that's funny. But no, I had a higher voice. I was a lot more excitable back then.
And keep reaching for the stars. Casey Kasem. Hey, Dan, how are you, buddy?
Howdy,
Sorry, I
Dan.
missed your call last night, dude. I got home really late. Man, I was tired, so I'll call you today. All right, enough of that.
So here's the randoms for the week. Where's my random scroller? I'm going to put this on here. Randoms. I like this. All right. We all know that the pandemic delayed 2020 Tokyo Olympics were not watched very much. But one of the things that the Tokyo Olympics did was they added 5 sports. There was baseball, there was softball, there was karate, skateboarding, baseball and softball together, karate, skateboarding, sports climbing, and surfing. The Paris Games in 2024, they've already done away with karate and they've done away with the baseball, softball. So those aren't happening. But they have added a new sport to the Summer Olympics 2024. We know it as breakdancing.
Oh, yeah.
They're calling it, I think, just breaking, which is funny. I don't know. A sport called breaking. No, it's break dancing. If calling something an Olympic sport, calling it breaking, that just sounds like you're just destroying things. Yeah. What's going to be cool though is Paris hosting the Olympics. They're going to be doing the competition on a dance floor with the Eiffel Tower as a backdrop.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be something else. So be interesting to see how breakdancing goes in the Olympics. Of course, they're trying to gain more viewers because viewership has been down the last couple of Olympics big time.
Is there any truth to the rumor that they're going to add rock, paper, scissors as an Olympic sport?
World-class rock, paper, scissors.
Paper, scissors. Always go rock.
Right. I got a bunch of hot takes for you today.
All right. Like hot takes.
These are quick ones. All right. Snoop Dogg just launched a new cereal called Snoop Loops. You trying it or no?
Oh God. I'm afraid what it might be laced with. No.
The happiest cereal you'll ever taste.
Yeah, I'm going to finish the whole box
Loops.
in one sitting. I don't know what it was, man. I was so hungry. Wow.
Don't do that. Speaking of that, for the first time on record, more people in the U.S. say they smoke marijuana than they do cigarettes.
Yes.
According to Gallup poll, 11% of Americans say they smoke cigarettes and 16% said they smoke marijuana.
Okay, there's something wrong with that. A whole lot more than 11%. I mean, I realize it's just the people who were polled, but I guarantee you there's a whole lot more people smoking cigarettes than just 11%. That's 11 out of 100 people. Nah.
11%. So 1 out of every 10. That seems about right to me. I don't see as many people smoking anymore. I mean, obviously you see the folks that step out of restaurants or, whatever to smoke outside. But I think that sounds about right to me. I think we're down to somewhere close to about 1 out of every 10 smoking cigarettes. It's a surprise that 16% said that they're using marijuana. They're token.
None for me, period. I'm proud to say it. Never, ever.
Rory McIlroy. You know who Rory McIlroy is?
No,
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Golfer.
Rory McIlroy and Tiger Woods are teaming up for a new tech-infused golf league that they were going to launch Monday nights in 2024. So during the season when there's not Monday night football, you're going to be watching Monday night golf ball or something. I don't know.
Yeah, golf ball.
Rory and Tiger, and I think it's gonna. I wonder if it's gonna be something similar to like a Top Golf.
I can
thing.
join. I have my golf bag, complete with golf balls. Isn't that cool?
That's very cool.
Yeah, cost me like $1 at Goodwill.
Are they plastic golf balls or actual
I
golf
got
balls?
real golf balls in here. You hang it on your thing, and that's what you use. If your golf ball ends up in the drink, which happens to me a lot.
All right. Here's something hot take. 12 college football players are currently valued at over $1 million entering this season, according to NIL platform On3. One of those, Alabama quarterback Bryce Young, has more than $1 million in NIL deals. NIL meaning name, image, likeness.
Yep.
He hasn't even played a single game yet, and he's already got over $1 million in deals because he's the quarterback for Alabama.
Yeah, he's good though. He's projected to be a number 1 pick in the NFL. This is I think it's his senior season, junior season.
No, well, he hasn't played a single game yet.
Are you sure about that?
According to the article, Bryce
hasn't played
Young
a single game this year, but I'm pretty sure. Well, maybe I could be wrong on that. He could have been the backup last year. I don't know. You might want to check that. I'm not 100% sure, so I don't want to say.
Yeah, right. Bryce Young from Alabama.
Okay.
Yesterday, speaking of college football, the board of managers voted to expand the playoff from 4 teams to 12. Forget going to 6 or 8 or 10. No, they're going right to 12. And it sounds like that means there's going to be 3 levels to the playoff. There's the top 6 teams are going to get byes. The top 6 like conference winners will get byes for the first round, but then there'll be a second round and a third round, and then I think a championship game. So it might take you actually 4 wins now to win the national championship in college football.
Well, that's good. And they needed to do something. By the way, Bryce Young is the reigning Heisman winner. So yeah, he's been around for a few years. He is. And I think what it said, and you're not wrong. I think what it was saying is that he hasn't played it down yet this season. That's probably what you didn't see or they didn't say. But yeah, he's been their quarterback for a few years now. He's 21 years old. So he's a senior this year and projected to be the number 1 overall pick. So
if you see NIL, news about NIL, it's name, image, likeness, and college football players and any college sports player can sell their jerseys, their image, their likeness.
Do you remember a number of years ago, I want to say 95, 96, something like that, Jim Tressel, the coach of Ohio State that won the national championship, they beat Miami, and Jim Tressel about 2 years later had a fall from grace because their quarterback, what was his name? He had a cup of coffee in the NFL. He had traded a jersey, a signed jersey, for a tattoo or something like that. And oh my God, you'd think he just robbed a gas station or a bank, or blew up the Pentagon. And it ended up, Jim Tressel lost his job and he had this huge fall from grace and all that. That's when all this thing started. Why in the world should these institutions, we talked about it last week, Harvard, $41 billion in their booster fund, Texas, upwards of $45 billion in their booster fund. These schools like Stanford, Notre Dame, Michigan, they have a booster fund like you wouldn't believe because they're making money hand over fist. Football makes more money than anything in any college. More than grants, more than this, more than that, the money it generates. And then these kids who are absolute bona fide stars, they're going to get their payday in the NFL. I get it. But they are bona fide stars for 2 or 3 years in a row, and people are wearing their jerseys. Why shouldn't they get a little bit of a cut? So the name, image, and likeness thing, I kind of like. They're not getting money from boosters. They're getting money from endorsements. That they can get.
Well, the thing that's happening now too is like I think it's Texas A&M.
Mm-hmm.
They are giving all of Texas A&M football players and women basketball players $25,000 each to do public appearances and community service, and they're using their name, image, and likeness to promote the school and various things. So a lot of these boosters are kind of using this system to
and I really don't have a problem with that. Maybe I should. I don't know. I guess I just don't have a problem with it because these college kids are busting their butts, making a name for themselves, but making a name for your university, winning a national championship and all of that. They deserve to have a little love. They deserve to look, it's pizza money, it's gas money, it's movie money for them.
Well, it's a whole lot more than that.
It is, but $25,000 over an entire year. If you made 25 grand last year, you wouldn't be able to make your house payment. Well, you probably could, but I'm just saying, I mean, and yet you're going to school for 6 hours a day. You're playing a sport. You have very little time and energy for anything else. It'd be kind of nice if you had a little bit of a boost, you know?
And you're going to see some stories. You're going to see some great positive ones and some big time failures of people who've, squandered their money or did stupid things and screwed up their possibility of being in the pros. It's going to happen.
It is
the nature of the beast, human nature. But it will be interesting to see what happens with the expanded playoffs and now all this money that's flowing into these college sports stars. Did either one of you tune into HBO and watch House of the Dragon?
Next.
House of the Dragon for a second season has already been inked by HBO because 20 million people tuned in and watched the first episode.
Is that the Game of Thrones sequel?
The Game of Thrones
prequel, yeah.
It's a prequel to
never
Game
even watched Game of Thrones. I might have seen 2 episodes when we had a free HBO weekend. Not impressed. I don't get into
that. So that's that. I think that was a plan. They knew they were going to renew it for a second season. T-Mobile is offering 3 months of unlimited data for free in an effort to lure new subscribers. For those of you who love your Verizon or the U.S. Cellular, would you consider leaving them for T-Mobile to get 3 months of unlimited data for free?
What's more important to me than 3 months free? You can give me 6 months free. You can give me a year free. If I don't have a hotspot, if I can't log into my phone and hotspot on my computer at a DJ gig, it doesn't matter. You can give me all the free phone you want. I have to have a hotspot. I have Pure Talk. My hotspot works just fine. It works just fine.
That's cool. That's good to know.
I love it.
Pure Talk, does it use the Verizon network or does it use the T-Mobile
uses
network?
the AT&T network, which is not the best. I mean, there are times when I'm, if I'm up in Roscoe Way or if I'm way out in the sticks, sometimes it gets a little spotty. Like, for example, I was out at Lake Ladonna and it didn't work. It didn't work. It was, and it was kind of rough because I had to go the entire night with just what I had. Well, I managed. It was fine. But without having the security blanket of a hotspot, but actually what it amount to is it was U.S. Cellular was the only one that worked out there. And who's got that? I mean, some people do, obviously. But,
some people do. All right, last few things. Hong Kong is testing new pedestrian signals. They bathe the ground in red or green light. Why? So people don't have to look up from their phones. I think we're going to start seeing this a lot more in big cities where instead of just saying it's time, you can walk now, it'll be green or red light on the actual ground being projected from the lamp. Scary. NASA going to try to reattempt their launch of Space Launch System rocket to the moon this afternoon. The first one had to be scrubbed on Monday. Today's launch in Florida expected to draw around 400,000 spectators, and it should be about sometime between 2 and 4 Central Time, probably closer to 2:30 from last I heard.
Wow, that is so cool. It's Artemis, right?
Artemis, yes, the Artemis.
The spacecraft, space program, yeah.
So,
okay, so they're actually going to put people on the moon.
Well, this is an unmanned.
For you. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I got the picture. I want to put this up here because it looks pretty cool. Where overlay. Where'd you go? There it is. Here's the plan. You can see where they launch. spin around Earth and go flying out to the moon. They spin around the moon, drop off the thing, whatever, come back, recollect it, spin around the moon again, and slingshot back to Earth.
Wow.
Cool
Okay,
looking
so the
figure
trivia
eight there.
question is, how many men have walked on the moon?
3?
What do you say, Joann?
2.
The answer will surprise you. 12.
12.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, because we did it 2 or 3 years. And the funny thing is, we don't even remember it. I didn't know it until it was a trivia question.
It's been 50 years.
Well, yeah, it has been. And we stopped, I think, in
1972.
71. After the Apollo 13 disaster, Houston, we have a problem. That's where that came from. That wasn't even the real quote, but it was kind of Hollywoodized. But
Close enough.
but yeah, I'm reasonably sure it's 12. I think that's what it is. So
All right. So that's wow. That we had a lot to chat about this week.
yeah.
Let's focus on all things PAWS here for a little bit. Joann, what's happening at the PAWS HQ in Cherry Valley?
Now, do you want a tour or we're running out of time?
We got time.
Do we have any new cats we want to say hello to?
I have a cat
Yeah.
that I have to say hello to. You're going to love this cat.
All right, let's do it. Over to PAWS. Put on the music.
Well, I guess I need to go back so I can see what I'm doing. Always show you the mirror.
Oh yeah.
Because at the end of the
August of Dog Names. Whoa, look at all those dog names.
Wow.
14,
Whoa.
15 dogs. Because I don't know if you see, Lola and Lucy were a pair of Chihuahuas. And then September, we already have 2 adoptions, Maddie and Parsley.
Parsley. What about Sage and Rosemary and Thyme?
Here's a little guy who wants to change his sign.
No.
Whoa! He
Oh,
just got
hey.
his sign. He threw his sign to the floor. Whoops! I bumped the. This is the cat I want Tom to see.
Oh my goodness.
He's only a year old. I don't know if he's going to come out or not.
He's a big boy.
His
All
name
right,
is.
sign me up. I'll take him.
Joanne's going in, Tom.
Oh,
She's
there
going
he
in.
comes. Whoa! Let me
Oh.
shut the game now. Duncan
Wow.
and Alan Story.
Is he
Duncan,
about 15 pounds?
he's a brand new. He's checking out the door now. I knew it was open a minute ago. He lost.
You're going to let me out, aren't you?
No, he's in this cage yet. He lost his home due to change of rules in his apartment building. They allowed two pets and they changed it to 1.
Oh,
So
you'd have been grandfathered in. That's not fair.
no, I wanted you for sure to see him. Here's a noisy one that says, "Please adopt me today,
Yeah.
or else please feed me." Where did those ladies go? What? No, he was yelling, "Feed me, feed me." It's like,
Wow,
feed
look at that.
everyone else, but not me. So, but Duncan is just our newest resident.
PAWSHS.org for more info on any of these available to adopt cats. PAWSHS.org or 815-299-PAWS. 815-299-7297.
And then there's some kittens up here that are really cute. All our cats are cute.
I showed a few houses with cats in them this week. One of them had at least 3 cats. There was 4 There was 4 litter boxes in the basement, but I only saw 3 cats. So I guess one was a little too scared. I don't know.
Very sweet.
It's always funny when a cat comes out and says, "Hey, want me to show you around the house?" It's my favorite spot. What do you think?
Oh, just that they, oh, he's bathing. She's bathing, so it's private time. So kind of a quick tour, but I know we're running out of time a little bit.
We got a little chatty today. Hello, community room.
Must be cleanup time because here's another one cleaning up. So,
All right. There you go. Your tour around PAWS HQ there. PAWS
And the candy bowl.
well,
And the
I lean against the candy bowl.
I got my own candy today.
All right, let's do this. Our big number of the week this week. It's not that big. Sorry. 4,165. 4,165 is the answer. Britain or bikes? Britain or bikes? That is what you get to guess. The question is, what do you think it is? 4,165. Give me your guess. 3, 2, 1, go.
Bikes.
We're both going for bikes. All right. Well, let's just put the cap back on the pen. Current score is 2-1, and the score is going to stay 2-1 for the Tom with a 1-point lead. Britain's energy regulator raised its estimate for what a typical British household will pay in energy bills in this next year from about £1,900 to about £3,500, which basically is $2,300 to about $4,165. $4,165, the average British household, beginning in October, adding fresh worries around how Brits will afford to heat their homes this winter. Yeah, energy bills are going to go up a lot and around the world, especially in Europe, because they're struggling with this whole thing with the Russians and the Ukraines and the war and the pipeline shutting down and all that stuff. So we shall see how this goes. The bike story, and 298 North American cities offer at least one electric bike or scooter sharing system. 97 cities offer both. This is according to the North American Bike Share and Scooter Share Association. You didn't know there was one of those, did you?
No.
North American.
In Rockford.
We do, yeah.
Yes. Are they called Bird? Are they Bird scooters?
Something like that.
I think that's what they're called. I'm seeing them all over town in different
I
areas.
see them laying all over the place.
They look fun. I was showing a house up in McChesney Park this last week, and a couple came flying around the corner in 2 of these scooters. I think they might have owned those ones, but I was like, did they get all the way up here to McChesney Park from downtown Rockford? They could have, I suppose. I don't know.
They move. They go about 10, 12 miles an hour. If you're on the bike path, you could literally go from the far reaches of, wherever it ends out in McChesney all the way to downtown Rockford.
Back to downtown. So anyway, if you've tried out a scooter, tell us what you thought about it and how much you paid for it. That'd be kind of interesting to find out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Tell us your experience on using the scooters around Rockford. And I know at one point we did have bikes, but I don't think we have the bikes anymore. The Lime bikes ended up
didn't work out
in the river. People were throwing them in the river.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's just so ridiculous.
All right, I guess that's it, huh? Anything else you want to final shout outs before we enter into our Labor Day weekend?
Let me just say one thing. I did my fantasy draft this week, and
yes,
I got a C- for my draft, which was 10 out of 10. But you know what I did last year? I was 10 out of 10, and I won my championship. So
you won, yeah.
Those yahoos at Yahoo, they don't know what they're talking about. I'm gonna win. I drafted Romeo Dobbs and Robert Tonyan. Robert Tonyan right now is questionable. Romeo Dobbs, he's a rookie,
Right.
you know,
You're taking your chances. I like the risk reward strategy. Tom.
That's right. That's right. I'm going to take him. What if he gets 3 touchdowns in the first game? Now it looks like a genius move, doesn't it?
Wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah.
Good luck with that. Remember, friends, you change the world when you help one person. Be a blessing to someone today. We'll try to do the same. Meet you back here next week for another Saturday morning Stateline show. Goodbye, y'all.
Bye.